Now, let's do a bag. All right. So bags are not that much more difficult. If you have a taller gift, now let's say I wanted to give somebody this collagen firming and toning body serum. Okay, and it's tall, it's round, difficult to wrap. Okay, so what I need to do is follow this formula here to figure out the size of paper that I need to cut. So this is, because it's a circle, it's going to be the same length and width. So it's about 2, I'm going to make it 2.5 to make sure we've got lots of room. So the length and the width are the same. I'm going to make the width 2.5 and I'm going to make the length 3, just so that it's not a square bag, which looks a little bit weird. So 2.5 and 3. And I need to add a 1/2 inch on one side just as a flap to close up the, make the two sides of the bag stick together, okay? So when you add that up, okay, 2.5 and 2.5 is 5, and 6 is 11.5. So that's 11.5 inches for the length of the paper. And then this is about 7 inches. We're going to make it 8 inches. And we're going to use the width of this article, whatever it is, whatever your width is, we're going to add that to the bottom because we have to make some flaps in order to close the bottom off of the bag. So that's 2.5 inches. So that makes a total of 10 inches, 10.5 inches. So our paper that we want to cut is 11.5 and 10.5 inches. And this will be put on the event group for you to download. Okay, so I have that paper, and we're going to again use our scoring tool. Okay, so we need to start by scoring, and we're going to use the large ball tip here. Scoring, now this is the 11.5, which is the length, which is where we want to start by 1/2 inch. That's our flap. Okay, and then we want to go from that, we want to go 2.5 inches from that. So from 1/2 inch, okay, 2.5 inches, so that would be 1.5, 2.5, and then another 1/2 is 3. Okay, and then we want to go with another 3 inches, which would be 6. Make sure that's straight. And then we want to go 2.5 inches. So from 6, 7, 8.5, we want to go 8.5. And then from 8.5, we want to go another 3 inches. So 8.5 to 9.5 to 10.5 to 11.5. Okay, so we've got all the score lines done on that side. But in between, on our width, we want to make some, we want to make a couple of marks so that we can squeeze it in at the top a little bit. So right, where are we here? So right here between the 1/2 and the 3, we want to come in halfway. What's 1/2 of 2.5? 1 1/4, okay? So we want to go 1 1/4, so that's at 1 3/4. We want to score it down maybe to 3 inches. Okay, and then in the next area where we go We went from 6 to 8.5 here. 7.25. We want to go down to about 3 inches. I'm just guesstimating there. Okay, now we're going to turn it sideways so that those partial scoring lines we made are out of the way. And we want to make a score line at 2.5, the width, just along the bottom here. Okay, and that's all the scoring that we need to do. Now we need to do some cutting. So we don't need the flap at the bottom where we do the covering up, but beveling is always a good idea on our flaps. So we're going to bevel. And bevel in here. It's probably hard to see those lines. I wonder if it's easier on the other side. Yeah, it's a little bit easier on the other side. Okay, and now we're going to do some folding. So we're going to make this the outside and this the inside. Could be either way. Which side would you have chosen? Okay, so that's how we put it all together. And we're going to fold this, which is the side. Each other anyway. Okay, then we're going to, on the outside, you could use tear and tape. I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm just going to run the line right down here. Okay, I'm going to fold that over. And then fold this right over top. Make sure that the top edges match and the bottom edges match. So, and then what we want to do is we want to fold in on these two sides so that it closes at the top. And then we just need to fold in these flaps, and I'm going to add some adhesive on the bottom of this flap. And fold it over like so. And if you can reach in there, and then add some more to this larger flap here, the 3-inch flaps, just to make sure that they're sealed properly. And that folds over. Make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, so there's your bag. You can put your article in your bag, fold it over, and then you can use a hole punch. And I think in this case it might be good to have a couple of sets of holes and some ribbon. There. And then you can just run some ribbon. I had some of this red ribbon here, the curly red ribbon. I could run through like so and trim it off. and tie it up and add a bow. Then you can add a tag or whatever you wish. There we go. And there's your custom-made bag. So that is how you make custom bags and boxes, and I will post those two on the event site for you, and that's all there is to it.